Wanted to give you a quick guide of how to find Pacers tickets. We've written a lot of this out if you click here at the bottom, but wanted to show you, like, let's just find an event and find a Pacers game. So how do I know I find the sites that I want to find? So we go find tickets first thing. So we're going to, this is opening night against the Heat. So really want to give you an overview look at the map. So generally you come in around this, see this 24 right here, you generally enter in the stadium around there. So that's that side. And then if you zoom in, you can see which side's the Pacers bench, which side's the visitors bench, to give you an idea of where you might want to sit depending on views. So you generally have three levels. Now this map isn't 100% up to date because of the new changes that the Pacers have had in the venue, especially in the club level. And it's a little bit more segmented than it used to be when it comes to the club level. But for the most part, things to know about the floor level. The floor level is great all around. I mean, Bankers Life Fieldhouse is amazing and that. But know that if you're on this half of the stadium on the floor level, you're going to be looking at the backs of the players. If you're on this half, you're going to be looking towards the players. As far as towards the bench. So all of these sections are really quite good. If you get up really high in them, it's really not much different than being, because of the shallowness of the angle, it's really not too much different than being in this club level. But really great seats. Obviously, the lower you go, the closer to action, the better it's going to be. So, but that's all in these 100 level areas. Now, if you get up into the high ones and the high 20s here and the high twos and 19s, these are essentially the exact same view as the club level. So if you get up in too high of a section there, you're going to be missing some things. And part of the reason we don't have a lot of seats around there is a lot of this section has been turned into some premium new style premium seating. So it's kind of changed, which is why we don't have a lot of inventory here. When you're at the club level is awesome. Just some things to note. When you are over here in this 101 section, or by this 120 section, this is the fan zones typically. So there's normally drums, it's crazy fan, so it's going to be the loudest area. So if you want that, sitting in section like 119, 102 is going to be a lot of fun for you. But just in general, the great part about the club scene is there's wait staff who are going to be coming around. They'll take orders so you can get food. The views are amazing. It's honestly like you're watching it on TV because you're at that same level that the cameras are at often. Now, one thing to note about this level is if you're in this 110, 111 section, these tickets are often going to come with, if they're available, are going to often come with food as well. So you can get those and it'll come with food, and there's nice dining and things like that. Now, so that's the club level. Awesome place to sit. Now, if you go into sections, into this balcony section, again, Bankers Life is really great, but if you get too high up like say starting row 10 or higher in any of these balcony seating, it's going to really start feeling like you're watching the massive Jumbotron more than you're watching the floor. You can see the floor just fine. It's really far away, but things are just much bigger on the TV at that level on that massive Jumbotron. One thing to note though is if you're in like rows 1, 2, or 3 in that section, it feels like you've got club level seats, and the prices are going to be far, far, far lower. So they're going to be really great there as far as that goes. Now, one thing to do in this app, if you're searching and you want to say search in row 15 and you want to find a section, you hide the map. It'll say what we have on that night for that section. And if you tap not the number, you'll be able to actually see, get an estimate of what is that section's look like. So what is it going to look like? How's the floor going to look like? So which is a great little feature to make it easier for you when you are buying those seats. So you can see if I was in this section, tickets are much cheaper in the balcony, obviously, and you get an idea. And this is an old picture because the Jumbotron's even bigger than this nowadays. But still great views in the seat, great views in the action. You'll have a great time. But it's generally going to be point where you're going to be watching that TV a lot for replays, things like that. So that's the guide to the Pacers game. So go out, find a ticket. You can obviously click on a section if you want to filter it down to any area to see tickets. Otherwise, you can look at just from high to low, and then you can set some other filters around here. So whether that be minimum price, max price, etc. But definitely make sure you catch a game, because Pacers games are always going to be fun, even if you're even if they lose, they're always fun. Pacers play super well at home, so that makes it a fun time as well. And a quick tip, if you go to a weeknight game, as long as it's not like a weeknight game against the Warriors or the Lakers or the Nets, some big team, tickets are going to be dramatically cheaper on Only Indie Tickets than they are going to be on even Ticketmaster or the Pacers site themselves, just because there's generally tons of inventory available. So if you really want a deal, even deals for super low level seats, you would want to check out those weeknight games. So check it out, have fun, go to a game, go Pacers.